My name is Max Wood, and you are watching the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference on Twitch.
I am Kyle, and with me today is the esports director for the UONA Dragons, Max Wood. So, Max, how are you doing today?
I'm having a great day. Honestly, it's sunny out. It's not snowing here in Fairfax. It's a pretty blessed week, I can tell.
It is pretty nice that it's been a really nice weather coming off of a very cold winter. So, I'm really enjoying that. But jumping right into it, I think a good start is a pretty vague question here. Why esports for you?
It's a great question. It was something that I actually did when I was a student at George Mason back in 2014, 2015. Was super involved in their collegiate club, was super involved in amateur, realized that my skill set really aimed towards managing talent evaluation and all of that sort of skill set. Graduated college, went into corporate accounting, and then realized that my pathway was more of a competitive one rather than maybe one of a desk job. So kind of jumped right into a pretty once in a lifetime opportunity to do esports professionally, travel the world for it, and then realized that my passion really lies within helping young people experience the opportunity to chase their dreams. And so I basically got to travel the world and help young people all over the world be able to chase that esport professional dream. With COVID happening, came back to the US, and now I've been kind of helping young men and women here in the US be able to chase that esports dream.
Yeah. So in chasing that dream, looking around at some of your profiles a bit, I noticed you had put down 2019 World's League of Legends participant. Is that a part of the traveling the world thing?
Yeah, so we represented the second seed out of Vietnam, the VCS, and we went to the 2019 League of Legends play-in stage, beat our Turkish rivals. I think we did pretty average in groups, and then unfortunately got drawn to play Damwon Gaming in the final stages of play-in. Actually ended up taking the first game off of them. But unfortunately fell. But that was a part of my journey overseas and was a once in a lifetime experience that I really aim to hope to kind of give students here in the US an opportunity to experience.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, as you've kind of come back to the States, like you said, with COVID, what has been, some of the interesting things about working in collegiate versus in the pro scenes?
Yeah, so I think the culture is very, very different, and it's been something that my staff and my players have very much held my hand on, because I think going from negotiating contracts, negotiating bonuses, to giving scholarships and giving opportunities is a very different dynamic. One that I still pride myself on being incredibly competitive with, but it's a far more positive relationship than what a normal general manager would be. So the transition has definitely been difficult, and I've definitely upset a lot of kids here and there. But I think that my motto is that I would rather be difficult on a player or difficult on a staff member, and then they succeed at a very high level, than me not be difficult on them, me try to be their friend, and them struggling to elevate themselves to the next level. So I would say it's been a learning process, but one that I really have to thank my peers on supporting my transition to more of a collegiate sector.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the benefits about the collegiate scene that you've liked, that you've seen? Any parallels to pro play, or is it stuff that either you'd like to see esports or collegiate do that pro play is or isn't doing?
I think we're getting there. I think the collegiate scene is slowly developing into a sort of pipeline, as much as many high-end amateur League of Legends and amateur esports people, certainly are upset about that sort of comment. Now, what I would like to hope to see here in the near future is that collegiate directors get paid more and then they take it more seriously. I think that there's unfortunately a significant disconnect between the people that are doing it at a very high level, an amateur, and then the individuals that get hired for collegiate jobs. So I hope in the near future that schools end up investing more and paying the directors more and paying the people that deserve to be in these positions more, so that they actually can find a livable situation. And then with that, you will see more people coming out of collegiate and going professional. And I think the one thing that I would say that collegiate has over the professional scene is that it provides a level of safety that I think is unparalleled within the professional scene. For a young man to chase his dreams in esports, and then potentially also get a degree at the same time, is the best of both worlds. It's the saying is, you can't eat your cake and have it at the same time. It very much is that scenario. So I would say that I absolutely adore the ability for young people to pursue an education while also pursuing their dreams and passions.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. So kind of the other side of the coin then too, what would you like to see companies like Riot or other large esports companies do to really help push along collegiate scene?
I think Riot is doing a pretty fantastic job so far. I mean, everyone's not perfect. There are flaws within all systems, but I would say that the Riot National Championship, I think, is probably the most systematically stable within the collegiate realm. I think it's probably closely followed by Rocket League, and that is, it's no longer Psyonix. I think it's now Epic Games. I think they're doing a fantastic job with their pipeline. I think there needs to be a level of consistency and a pipeline to motivate individuals outside of just money. So I think that's why a lot of the Fortnite and other collegiate esports have struggled a great deal, where Rocket League, or more importantly League of Legends, I think there's a direct pipeline for players to say, hey, there's not just value in scholarship money here, but there's value in me potentially playing at the next level and being able to showcase myself. So I think that there needs to be some level of visibility there that I think game producers need to provide on top of the prize pool that they also provide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely can definitely see that in, a lot of tournaments involved in collegiate, focused on pretty much just money, and then really worrying about what comes next. But I do agree, Riot's doing a very good job with themselves. But jumping on over more towards your collegiate side, what are just some of the things you've liked that University of North America does specifically for you guys?
So I think the easiest answer to that is, one, I am paid a livable wage. I think unfortunately esport directors are shortchanged a great deal. I think there's tons of super passionate directors out there who give everything for their kids and for their programs, and then they're paid less than a Best Buy sales associate. So they genuinely support me and a livable wage here in Fairfax, on top of developing and continuing to invest in what I would probably consider one of the best facilities here in the region, if not the East Coast. We've gone from one room to close to 10,000 square feet with about 5 individual practice rooms for each of our games. So we very much set up our facility in a standardized, almost LCS fashion, where each of our teams, whether they be JV, developmental, Rocket League, Apex, Halo, they all have their own individual practice rooms that are all bio-locked as well. So they've really gone above and beyond in regards to scholarships, facility, supporting myself as well. And I think all of that is very, very unique, and I'm very excited to be able to reward their faith in esports and reward their dedication to doing it correctly.
I like the sound of that. Sounds like you guys have a really good system over there for something that's relatively new for a lot of places and a lot of schools. So what do you guys, or rather, what do you feel is some of the strengths of your program, your teams, particularly League of Legends and Rocket League, that we get to see in the MAEC?
So our system is very much modeled after a tier 2, low-end tier 1 organization, where every single team has a full-time staff member associated to them. whether that person is remote or in person. A great example for our varsity League of Legends teams, we have Cloud9 Kayuki on campus, very much coaching them 24/7. So I would say that the biggest value that our program has is that every single team has someone to either coach or to manage that is there solely for that purpose. And I think that is a big missing factor that is slowly, being fixed in the collegiate sector, but it's something that I think definitely has us standing out in regards to just how fast we've progressed and how successful we've been in just 3 months of development, basically.
All right. So the League of Legends team and this upcoming finals, what is your thoughts on how they've performed and this finals matchup against ODU?
It's going to be very exciting to complete the journey because I think it has been a very long one for the team, especially. I think a lot of people don't realize this, but we lost our best player on paper very early in the season. And we had a young man step up and basically excel in the position. So I think that, this version of this roster, it doesn't look as impressive on paper, but I think is without a doubt probably the strongest iteration that we have in regards to communication and commitment to preparing overall. I'm very excited to see what the end result will be. I think we're all very much excited to potentially play in the top 32 colleges in the nation. I think we're very much preparing for our opponent in top 32 because we are very confident in the skill level that we play at. So not only within MAEC, but then also within the Unified Premier League as well. So playing colleges like Harrisonburg and colleges that are well above the average skill level of collegiate. I think we've prepared a great deal, and I think that a great deal of dedication and commitment has been made by these young men that I think we will see that be rewarded come this match.
Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck in this matchup and moving on too. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be fun to see how you guys stack up and get to play against the only undefeated team in the MAEC. And speaking again about that division or that this conference, what are some things you think that are beneficial for, be it your team, the scene, collegiate esports, whatever, that the MAEC brings?
I think it's incredibly valuable to showcase to program administrators or individuals within the financial side of universities and colleges that there is a competitive organized scene for esports. So I think that it's a part of a healthy ecosystem for colleges to play each other and to strive to beat each other and to develop rivalries. These are all things that are part of a healthy ecosystem, and MAEC helps provide a great deal of those. So it is my hope that when we eventually do win, that there is a call to arms from the other schools to say, hey, we don't want the Dragons to dominate for the next 15 years. We would love to rally to the call, invest more in our esports programs, invest in more scholarships, and invest in more so that we can compete at a higher level. And it wouldn't, none of that would be possible without MAEC.
What are some challenges that you guys at U of NA have faced but also overcome?
Yeah, so we have several young men on the roster who work full-time as well as go to school full-time and then practice full-time. So seeing some of these guys invest an incredible amount of time into their craft and focus on developing themselves and preparing themselves, I think is incredibly heartwarming. I think it showcases the dedication and more importantly, the challenge. Time is the ultimate challenge. And for a lot of these guys, understanding that they need to balance their lifestyles or else they can't function as human beings. So I think that has been an absolutely a big challenge for a lot of these guys. We have an international student in our support player. We have our top laners from California who drove here. And I think that, a lot of our players have come from all over. And I think that having them relocate so quickly in about 3 months and having them adjust to this new lifestyle has also been a massive challenge that they have taken in stride and done very, very well with.
Well, I wish them the best of luck and everything with that, getting settled, getting comfortable. And I think the last question on this I'd have is, what are your thoughts in the next 3, 5, however many years? What are your thoughts on University of North America's esports program and where you'd like to see it go?
So I think that our staff internally very much are very excited to announce our recruits for the fall of 2022 roster, or excuse me, semester roster. And I think we're very excited to announce our coaches and the next steps in the facility that we're making. You know, unfortunately for everyone else, I think that a lot of schools are going to struggle with how competitive we are going to be in all of our titles, especially in Overwatch and the imports that we're bringing in, especially in the new imports that we're bringing in for League of Legends. We're traveling as a university to LAN ETS here in May to physically go scout players from Canada and other countries. I think that, you know, for the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a whole lot of dragon winning and trophies being kind of exchanged just because of how invested this school is and how much the school genuinely cares about esports, which is a blessing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That definitely is a breath of fresh air for collegiate, considering that everything is very much just find what you can scrape up at your school. So it's really cool to see you guys taking such a forward and almost professional stance with it. So last question for you actually is really about you. What is some of your favorite things about esports and your program as well?
You know, as corny as it sounds, I think I very much enjoy watching these young people grow up, honestly. You know, whether it's how they dress, how they handle themselves, how they grow and mature into young adults, it very much is refreshing to be able to watch maybe someone who struggled to talk to adults or struggled to present himself in the best light evolve and become more consistent and become better prepared for the real world. I think that without a doubt is the you know, most rewarding aspect of this job, and being able to see young people potentially be able to go chase their passion full time. That is incredibly rewarding, and I think a lot of directors feel the same way. And I think for me, that is absolutely why I'm still here in Collegiate as a whole, is to continue giving young people that opportunity to grow and not have their parents completely freak out that they're chasing their esports dreams at the same time.
Yeah, that is always a worry that the parents are going to be like, you're doing what with your time at college? But it is really nice to hear that the players have someone with your level of support and just the amount of care that you provide. So it's always very comforting, excuse me, to have someone with that amount of support. But I think that'll do it. So I appreciate you coming on, Max, for just an interview here. And again, that is me, Kyle Cherish, and Max Wood, the esports director at the University of North America. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having me.